So morning everyone, stage 47. This one is the one where we leave Vienna and head to a little town called Tulln. And it started brilliantly. Woke up pretty well rested, had a breakfast. And then there's a lady called Roswitha who lives in Vienna who's been following the journey. And she came out this morning to walk the first couple of miles with me. She brought me some Gatorade, some Cliff Bars, some other little treats to power me along my journey. And we've just walked and had the most wonderful chat for half an hour, 45 minutes. She's a runner, started about 8 years ago. She's 67 and she's done a 5-hour something marathon and a sub 2-hour half marathon. And yeah, she brought her big dog Zion, who was an absolute legend. We ran a little bit, but we just chatted about the journey and about, you know, about her running in Vienna and lots of different things. And it's just wonderful to meet people like that and have those conversations, and, you know, just filled me up with kind of positive mental kind of energy this morning. You know, those things send me off with a big smile on my face. And she said one thing to me, which, I don't know, yeah, just sort of, it's amazing. She said, every day I run along the river Danube here, and I've been following your journey, and every day I've been sending good thoughts into the river downstream to you to help you on your journey. And that, you know, this whole journey started with somebody really sort of saying, I could put a message in a bottle and throw it down river and you could fish it out later, and that's how we communicate. And what a lovely thought that is, that every day she's been thinking about the run and basically helping me out with positivity. Lovely, lovely lady. And yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to meet her. And it's just made the start to this day 47 an absolute blast, you know, wonderful. Today, I've basically got about 26 miles to run. Hopefully most of it's going to be very close to the river. And yeah, start back there along out of Vienna, along the paths, right on the river, sun, you know, at our backs. It was absolutely wonderful and magic. So yeah, it's been a good start so far. I feel good. Everything's sort of feeling pretty loose. Feel much better than yesterday in terms of my overall kind of energy levels. So fingers crossed we're on for a decent run now. And let's just hope we get the navigation right. So day 47 is done, in the bag, 24.4 miles today. Had the real pleasure of leaving Vienna along some really nice routes. Basically, almost the whole route today was right along the river, you know, as close as you're going to get. And yeah, I mean, Vienna is sort of set up. The running routes around there are absolutely incredible. And we obviously got a treat on the south bank, straight shot right out of the city. Really glorious in the early morning. Saw a bunch of runners out, lots and lots of cyclists, lots of people just out sort of doing sport for recreation, which isn't something I've seen a lot of in some of the other countries. But really the day started really magically with Roswitha, you know, coming out and walking for the first 2 miles and having that chat, and that set me up nicely for the rest of the run. You know, I ran pretty much all of today with a smile on my face and felt good. The quad was fine. The rest of the sort of grumbling tendons and muscles and stuff played nice today as well. And much of the route was basically stuff that you could run with a certain amount of freedom. There was a little bit of prattling about with routes and having to stop a little bit to check that we were going in the right direction, but there were long sections that you just had these beautiful, really kind of well maintained cycle paths that you could literally lean down and put your hand into the Danube. So many people out cycling, you know, we're now sort of entering a world where there are big groups of cycle tourists. We met some who had come down from Passau in Germany, and they were on their way to Vienna. Lots of groups of cyclists sort of take boats and then come off the boats, cycle a bit, and then get back on the boat further down. It meets them and that kind of thing. Loads and loads of families, actually. One of the wonderful things that I've seen out here is that you get you know, very sort of quite young children, actually. I reckon they must only be 9, 10, and they're on their little bikes and they've got the full kit with the panniers, and there's, you know, there could be sort of 2 adults, 2 or 3 children, or groups, bigger groups than that, and all the kids are all riding as well, which is really lovely to see that, you know, they're going to do their camping or whatever. So there's lots of that. There's just so much more life along the river now. Obviously, you know, some of this you can tell that the level of affluence has gone up. We're starting to see boats and marinas and yachts and sort of stuff like that alongside as well. First sort of sign of people, I've seen actually, lots of people doing kind of water skiing and all that kind of stuff is starting to happen. And it was glorious, really. One thing I hadn't really planned on was I stopped at about mile 17. I came across this really lovely little cafe and decided I went in first and had an apple juice with fizzy water, which is wonderful. And then I saw kind of a couple of plates come out with schnitzels on them. And for some reason, I just got a bit of a craving to get involved in that. And it's the first time I've ever stopped a marathon distance at 17 miles for a big chicken schnitzel. I was dubious. It was a big gamble, basically. I didn't know if it was going to work out, but it was delicious. Really enjoyed it. Sat there for a few minutes, got up. And if you look on Instagram, I posted my Strava stats. All the 6 miles that came after schnitzel were faster than pretty much all the miles that came before schnitzel. So if you're looking for something to help you get a marathon PB, chicken schnitzel is it at mile 17. So you heard it here first. Forget all the other things. Forget that you've heard about how to improve your marathon time. It's just as simple as eating a chicken schnitzel. I'm feeling good, feeling positive. I'm tired today. I think, you know, sometimes when you run well, the adrenaline's up and then you can be a bit tired. And tomorrow, it's always a bit of a worry that tomorrow becomes a little bit more tricky because you've had such a good day. There's often can be followed by a bad day. But tomorrow I've got 27 miles along what looks like to be sort of similar tracks and route and paths as I'm going to be, as I was running today. So if it's more of the same of that, glorious, you know. It wasn't too hot today as well. It sort of got to about 27, sort of deeper into the run, but it was kind of okay. Got a bit of cloud cover at the right times, which was lucky. Yeah, so I'm here 47 marathons deep into this sort of 70 marathon run. I can't quite believe this, but I'm actually really looking forward to going running tomorrow. I thought I'd get to this point and I would want to, you know, you'd be dragging it out every day and not really looking forward to it, but I feel in really good spirits. I could have run further today. I would have, you know, it was one of those where I had the music on and I felt like I could have run another 5 miles, easily 10 miles, but, you know, I decided to call it and be sensible. But fingers crossed, when I wake up in the morning, I still feel the way I do now, and we can go and tick off another day. Tomorrow, we're going to go from Tulln to Krems. in Austria, and slowly making our way across Austria towards Germany. The only thing I've got is a sort of small complaint is my little toe on the right foot has started to, it's got really sort of rubbed it, like with my left foot, it sort of sits slightly underneath the toe next to it, and out of nowhere it's all of a sudden just decided to do that and rub, and it's a little bit sore, but basically I'm going to do what I did to the other one, which is essentially beat it into submission. It's just going to have to come with me whether it likes it or not, so yeah, we'll just manage that. We'll maybe wrap it again today and or tomorrow, sorry, and manage that. Hopefully it'll be all right and it will toughen up like the other one did. So yeah, so far in Austria, so good, glorious. It's been really, the only complaint really is that a lot of the places that we've run past have been closed, so water has maybe been a little bit more tricky than I would have hoped for here. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow, and I'm now going to go and get some sleep so that is hopefully how I wake up. So I will catch you people tomorrow.